Hey guys, Mama and Kid here. How's everybody doing out there? Well, welcome back to another review, recap slash review of Supergirl. This episode, I was shocked. I totally forgot Supergirl was coming back quicker than a lot of my other shows that are on hiatus for their mid season or winter finales. But this is episode 9 entitled Blood Bonds. So, what went down in this episode? What was it all about? And literally, what I can tell you guys is was this episode good? Very emotional. Very emotional in terms of how far is the the bonds of family? How tightly do they hold? And we get more of a realization of just the bond between sisters, between Asher and her sister Laura. We also get a sense of how far will Non go to retrieve what he lost, meaning Asher. How far, and also the look of the sense of how far, who is really the monster in this. That's kind of the way to look at this. There was a lot of different subplots going on in this episode besides, you know, Hank being kidnapped after that big epic uh, cliffhanger ending from the last episode, and then we saw basically them come together, and then Hank gets kidnapped. Non wants to trade Hank for Astor, basically, or could we say Jean for Astor? And it looks like everything is going well because then Alex is actually chosen to be the new director, and then General Lang comes in and takes over. Now, besides that, Maxwell Lord, aka Lex Luthor, in my opinion, basically starts to cover up a lot of what was going down in that when they were fighting on his property, and so he's playing the whole political crap where basically now anything that went down, you're on my property. I don't need your help. I don't need your help. I don't want your help. So Jimmy starts to look into it along with Win, and so that was one plot. Then there's the other plot that was going on, which kind of caught me by surprise because then I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it, and this truly threw me for a loop because basically it was acknowledging, guys, that I thought it was acknowledging that Cat Grant knew Kara was Supergirl. However, they pulled a little bit of a little 360, a little 180, and said basically, Cat is just assuming, suspecting that Kara is. So she's going through all of Kara's like history and playing, and she's like, oh, how long are you gonna play the fool with me? I know it's you, things like that, and you're like, you know, you're kind of pushing it, and you can see it. Like Kara's getting a little like she's got to play kind of dumb, but the scenes between niece and uh, niece and aunt were pretty good, and seeing more of Krypton before it was destroyed was pretty good as well. You know, we got to see two sides of the story though, because at first Astor made it out to see that Alora really was like really cold hearted and edgy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't care if it's family or not. You're going to jail and think you're going to jail. But we later on got to see a little bit more, and also to the point of Kara feeling she can't do this no more. A little regret. She's losing her friend. She's losing this after something went down with Jimmy, especially with Maxwell Lord. Then it really gets to the point where she's ready to go full blown search and destroy mode on Maxwell Lord, and it's almost her friends Win and Jimmy that got to tell her like, you do this, you're no better than what your aunt is claiming that humans and things are, and it was really that was a good moment. Uh, but the episode ended with a pretty good exchange between Astor and John. Uh, um, and then it looked like Non was going to betray that the word, and unfortunately, he Astor kind of said, "Respect, honor your word." However, this is where it kind of gets interesting because right here, Alex says to Hank, "I think it's about time you transform now." Now, Kara is like maybe 3 feet in front of them. She heard it, and after they leave, she literally says after that, once they deal with General Lang again, she says, "So what's this? I hear talk about you transforming," and basically she gets the 411 on John that he on Hank that he's a Martian, and she's not too surprised. She's a little surprised, but a little bit kind of hurt. Like I could have kept a secret. And I love that line where they're like, "No, you can't." Haven't seen that, guys. I was a little disappointed in that. I really thought, excuse me, I really thought that would have been built up a little bit more with Kara not knowing, and then she finding out. But once, but then a part of me was like, now Kat thinking, you know, Kara is Supergirl, what she is, but now Hank's gonna play a role in this, and kind of he did at the end. He disguised himself as Supergirl and came in, and Kara stood, and Kat was just like flabbergasted, but she kind of tucked her tail between her legs, but more like, okay, but just don't tell anybody I was wrong. I was a little disappointed. I really thought that was going to be built up a little bit more, guys. I really thought that was going to be the case, and I really did. I was just like, oh, really? That could have been worked a little bit better. I really thought that was going to be a little bit more time, but the ending is where we see Maxwell Lord going into the secret compartment that basically Jimmy and Wynn couldn't get into. And we see that there's this Jane Doe and all these different components. And he just says, "My name is Maxwell Lord, and I'm here to help you." And you see the girl, they're lining up on her face, and her eyes open and they're black, and it ends. So I'm like, is this the Bizarro that they're bringing in that I've heard? Bizarro's coming or something like that. But once again, but besides that, before that, and I kind of ran ahead of that, but besides that, guys, once again, we get a loving text between the cousins, which I always like, and he's asking if she's okay, do you need help, and Kara saying, if I need it, I'll ask, basically, I promise, and he says, and then she says, "Where'd you learn that from, Kansas?" And he's like, "No, I learned it from you." Basically, the blood bond, and it was those are good moments. I love that the between the cousins. That I like that. But like I said, guys, good episode, not bad. I really wish they had built up a little bit more for Kara finding out that Hank is John Jones, Martian Manhunter. Uh, what's going on with Maxwell Lord? Still playing up a little bit more of Lex Luthor, as well as Lex Luthor, animated Lex Luthor, and Bizarro, because in the animated series of Superman, who created Bizarro? Lex Luthor. So, once again, still good. It's still finding its place, but I'm still enjoying what I'm seeing. Um, and we're going to see more of Aunt and family clashing. And hopefully, yeah, that other family we get to see is Kal-El. But the question is, who will play Superman. And I got my choice of who I would like to see play him. But other than that, guys, not bad episode. Blood Bond uh, was a good episode. Nothing really to complain. Was it perfect? No, but nothing really to complain about. But as always, guys, you tell me what you thought about this episode. And this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys. As always, I'll see you guys next time. As always, you guys take care.